A new platform is making it easier for Australians to co-own property. Kohab has been launched by David Dawson and Darren Clark and helps buyers through the process to co-ownership. The platform has already got some big backers and it was a star-studded affair when it launched in Sydney earlier this month. Joining us now is Kohab Director Andrew Thane to tell us all about the platform. Andrew, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us. Tell us about Kohab. What is it? How does it work?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on board. Kohab is a digital platform. It's a community and marketplace, all centred around property co-ownership. We're in the reality of a very unaffordable property market, especially with Sydney, the second most unaffordable market in Australia, and Melbourne in the fifth. And it's really about building a community and understanding that you can go into property ownership together and having the tools to be able to do that safely and securely.
And is it about doing it sort of in a legal way with people you already know, like say mum and dad stumping up the deposit for somebody's house, or is it about strangers investing together? Yeah,
look, it's both. We think that it's going to be predominantly around mum and dad and family and friends. It's happening today. The bank of mum and dad, you hear that all the time, and helping their kids get into the market. And I think sometimes parents do that without understanding the risks that are associated with doing that. And, we are in an environment where there are changing personal circumstances. So we're really about education of co-ownership, what it is it right for you? And if you want to go down that path, having the right tools and the right legal framework to be able to do that in a secure manner. We also think that there's a vehicle there for family and friends, and then the share economy, and we understand that today around your Airbnbs and your Ubers and the like, that our networks aren't only our family and friends, it's also people that are in our community to a sense, and we believe that that's also another vehicle that they can use to get into the market.
Now, you've got some big partners who have come on board. Can you tell us about them and how that works?
Yeah, so look, we're very excited when we started to think about how we could address this issue, and we're not arrogant enough to think that this is going to be the silver bullet and fix the issues that are out there in the market. But there's a lot of people that share our concerns around unaffordability and getting onto the property ladder. So we've had huge support around banking partners, around legal partners, around insurance partners. Real estate has really been a strong support as well as property developers that all probably share that common goal of addressing unaffordability and accessibility. And this is also around having people live where they want to live. It's great to say, hey, you can afford a property 300 kilometres away from Sydney CBD, but that's not where you want to live. So we're trying to create a vehicle where it might be two nurses that are renting together, they want to get into the market, they can pool their funds together and ultimately do that in a secure way, knowing that it's not a lifetime decision, that in maybe 5 years' time when their circumstances change, that they can actually look to maybe get out of that investment.
Does it have to be as much of a 5-year commitment? Could you how long would they have to live in your property before you can go your separate ways but maintain your investment? Yeah,
there is no time frame around it. If you were to fall out with the person that you were co-owning with straight away, there's an opportunity to look at what we call a co-ownership agreement, and it would have the provisions around what you would do in the event that one of the parties wanted to maybe sell. There might be a provision there that you have the first right, the other partner, to buy that property. Ultimately, we see Kohab as being a vehicle that you can list half properties or proportional properties as well down the track. We were thrilled in our first week. There was a property in Manly where the vendor wanted to sell the whole property but decided he would actually sell half if there was somebody that wanted to invest in.
Okay,
so it's
unusual.
Yeah, really unusual. But there's been a lot of inquiries around people sitting there or vendors to the like saying, well, I'm asset rich.
Yes.
But I'm feeling a bit cash poor. The market's, very, very expensive. Maybe there's an opportunity to sell a proportion of my property and an investor would like to get in and they want to list that through the Kohab platform.
So it makes so much sense, but it's fraught with danger, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it is if you don't have the right legal agreement. I think that most people would understand that people have been doing co-ownership for 250 years, but they know it as tenants in common. It's been around. So this isn't different than maybe a couple buying or a de facto. You're actually going in and you're actually having a legal agreement which structures what happens in the event when you buy, when you sell. And what we're finding around the Kohab offer is that it can be people that want to live together. It could be somebody who wants to live in the property and the other person's an investor, or it could be a lifestyle asset like a beach house. You bought that 5 years ago. You're not getting down there as much as you used to. It's kind of a dead asset in a way, and then you're looking at an investor to come in and share the costs of that going into a co-ownership agreement.
So what you're really doing, you're almost Geneva, you're there sort of being the conduit to be able to solve this. Are you also giving advice to people about this? Because you're talking about many different setups and structures with people who do know each other or don't, and how they work. And also the important thing with such a thing is the out. When is the time to sell? So that's obviously part of what...
That's the main framework of what Kohab is. So if you go on there as a member, and we've had thousands and thousands already register for free on our platform, they can go and learn about co-ownership. There's articles, there's content, there's tutorials all around co-ownership. If they feel it's right for them, then they can look to transact, and that's through downloading what we call a Memorandum of Common Provisions or a co-ownership agreement, and then they can speak to our legal partner for free for 20 minutes to work through what it actually means for them, and are they the right person to move forward with it.
And what's in it for Kohab? Like, how do you make money out of this?
Yeah, look, commercial sensitivities around that. We don't make any money from our member base. It is free for them. We have partnerships there where ultimately we're providing services, and then we can generate revenue from that.
Is there any other people in the market that are sort of doing things similar, and how do you differ from them? What's your core card for, apart from a fantastic branded name?
Yeah, it's a great question. Thank you for the brand. It wasn't mine. But look, we're unique in the sense, I think you look at property and it's always been all or nothing. You go on, you go, I want to buy that whole property, and then it goes all the way down to what people understand as fractional investment. So there are groups out there where you can buy one brick in 1,000 and there's management fees and the like. So we're a little bit different. We have property on our platform. There's over 100,000 properties listed on our platform right now, because we understand that that's the passion and the excitement. People not even looking to buy property are on these platforms looking at kitchens and the like. So that was important to have that. And then really it's around the community and the marketplace where we don't have, this fractional sort of sale. It's actually going in. It could be 2 people, could be 6 people, it could be 10 people buying that property, and we'll guide them through that.
I'm wondering, when people out there now, people watching at home who are interested, what makes them see you as a platform to sell their house through, as opposed to putting it into open market? What's the driving force for you to get them to come on board with you?
Yeah, so we're working really hard around educating the real estate groups on what a proportional listing looks like. Unfortunately, we are in environments where personal circumstances change with vendors. It could be somebody going through something as awful as a divorce, and there's one party that would like to stay in the property because of the kids and stability. Other party wants to move on. Usually it's an all or nothing, so the real estate agent would sit there and talk through that and they'd have to decide whether they sell or they don't sell. This is a vehicle around education that every single day people are in that situation. I maybe don't want to sell, but one party may want to take their money and move on. This is really around making sure that they see this as a channel that you can actually have an option of selling a proportion of your property.